Welcome back, we the people. We're on Revelation chapter 12, verse 14, King James mistranslation. And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. So, the wife Hadrat Fatima and her way of peace, al-Islam, which is what is called that, in inverted commas, old-time religion, close quotation, the rights of Abraham. She was given two wings of a great eagle, the United States for protection by Elohim, Anunnaki, so that she, her seed, the Nubians, in all nations could fly into the wilderness of North America, to a place where she is sustained, New York. The same trials and tribulations of fleeing that the children of Israel went through while fleeing from Egypt, that Mary, the mother of Yeshua, went through, and Hadrat Fatima and her children all were fleeing from the devil, is the same with the righteous of today. And the Most High will protect them for a time, and two times, and a half time, and a half a time, to hide from the face of the snake, that serpent that deceived Hawa, in brackets Eve, and Cadmon, in brackets Zakar or Adam, in brackets close brackets, in the enclosed garden of delight, eastward in Eden. Verse 15, King James mistranslation. The serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. And the snake spat out of his mouth water as a flood. The news media will paint an ugly picture of al-Islam, the peace. The peacemakers are seen as terrorists and inhumane killers, when it is actually Shachar, Tanush, Hasatan is causing chaos. This flood went out after the confidant wife, Tabernacle, so that he will cause her to be carried away by the flood. Through his web of lies, the evil one will try to chase the purified ones, al-Mulqasina, away. Verse 16, King James mistranslation. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened up her mouth, and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. And the planet earth, the people helped the wife, tabernacle of the Most High, and the planet earth. The people opened up its mouth, spoke on her behalf, and swallowed up the flood by putting a stop to the lies and the slander which the serpent, reptilian, Shaitan, Khanas, threw out of his mouth. Verse 17. King James mistranslation. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. And the reptilian and his children, black and white devils, were angry with the wife, woman, the tabernacle of the Most High, and he went to make a fight to the death by eliminating as many Nubians from the planet as possible, in forms such as genocide, birth control, abortion, biological warfare, drugs and guns, etc., along with the rest of her seed, which stems from the enmity that started from the fall of man and the serpent in the garden. And because of their sin, the Yahweh of the Elohim, who was Kalkael, also known as Rudwan, And Uriel said he would put enmity between thy seed and her seed. This lets you know that the evil one actually has a physical seed. Only those who keep all the commandments of Elilo, Anu, and bear witness or proclaim faith in Messiah Yeshua, who are willing sacrifice, will be worthy to be taken up and will become sons of Elilo. Those that will not suffer the plagues poured out by the Anunnaki Elohim of a command from the Most High, who is called Theos, Anu, Elilo, or Eli. That's the end of chapter 12. We the people, the next chapter, chapter 13. We'll continue on another recording. Hi, I have to let you know, people, that two previous recordings, number 26 and 27, did not get uploaded for some reason. So I'm now attempting to refill that gap now. This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 15. King James mistranslation. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell amongst them. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. For that reason they are before the seat of Elilo, and serve him day and shadow hours inside the temple, and he, Melchizedek, Ancient of Days, that is sitting on the seat, will be a light upon them by incarnating in human form and dwell amongst them in the tabernacle of the Most High. Because the Messiah Yeshua was unable to complete his mission, he sent his Elohim, Angelos, Malachite, angelic being, to gather and prepare 144,000 holy ones before his coming, to re-educate those defiled by the harlot. So the third generation will be worthy of being taken up as the purified ones. Al-Moklasina, verse 16, chapter 7, verse 16. I'm not going to read the King James Version for the next few minutes because of time constraints. I'll just read Dr. York's translation. You'll have to go to King James Bible. Dr. York's translation, verse 16. They will not be hungry, nor will they be thirsty anymore. They will have their own, not depending on the Amorite anymore. Nor will the sunlight or the heat of it fall on them anymore, because they'll have their own housing, working together as one unit. Verse 17. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the seat will feed them, and will lead them to living creatures upon fountains of waters that flow through the river of paradise, that only those nearest to the Most High will drink from, and they will never thirst, because it is in abundance, and who drinks of it will never thirst again, and will taste its fullest flavor because of their righteousness. And Elilo, the Most High, El, Anu, Theos, Eli, Allah, Yahweh, will wipe away all tears from their eyes by comforting them for their righteousness. We're now on chapter 8, verse 1. And when the Lamb, the Messiah Jesus, the Lamb of sacrifice to suffer persecution, because he will speak the truth, opened the seventh stamp, and what is contained in this seal is made clear from the beginning, El Sahufs, to the end, El Quran. There was silence in the Orion skies, meaning man would have a grace of period before the end comes. The end was expected to occur in the year 1970 AD, but this command was put off until the year 2000 AD for a half an hour, symbolic of 30 years from 1970 AD to 2000 AD, when the evil one's rule is up. 8 verse 2 heading. The 7 messengers stood before Theos and were given the 7 trumpets. And I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, saw 7 Elohim Anunnaki, who are the cherubim of destruction, symbolic of the 7 plagues destined to fall upon the inhabitants of the earth, planet Earth. The same 7 plagues spoken of in El's Injiyl are also expounded on in El's Holy Quran. The opening of the 7th seal will signal the uncovering, which is revelation of all truths and untruths, as well as the beginning of woes or plagues to besiege the planet Earth. At this point, Dr. York proceeds to outline the 7 plagues from the book of Revelation and from El's Holy Quran, which I won't be reading because of time constraints. And at the end of chapter 8, verse 2, he writes, "The 7 Anunnaki Elohim were standing between Theos' 2 hands, meaning they are under his power, and they were given 7 trumpets, which is the announcement of destruction of the end of the world, signaling its coming." 8 verse 3, the heading, "The prayers of the Agios Holy Ones is offered up and accepted by Theos." Dr. York's right translation of verse 3. "Then another Elohim, who was the Anunnaki Elohim Melchizedek, also called Murdoch, son of Enki and Damkina, the Elohim Anunnaki, who has 720 degrees of knowledge, came and stood before the altar. With him was a gold incense holder with a lot of incense to be given for the worships of those who pray today, of the community of 144,000 Al-Qadiseen, the holy ones, Al-Mukhlasina, the purified ones, above the gold altar in Nibiru, which is before the seat of Theos." Verse 4. "And the smoke of the incense rose upward from the worships of the holy ones that will be accepted from the hand of the Anunnaki Elohim Marduk Melchizedek before Theos." And there, people, we end the missing parts of recording 26 and 27. And I'll see you on the other side.